Welcome to another Nolan Business Solutions webinar. David here, and today we're focusing on NetSuite and specifically the Nolan Business Solutions Advanced Bank Reconciliation module for NetSuite. Fully accredited, it's built within the NetSuite platform, so it's not actually interfacing in, it's running within the system. Today, we're focusing on a specific area really of the system, which is the reconciliation tools that just make it easier for you to automate the reconciliation process, speed up time, free staff, etc., etc. So without further ado, I'm just going to skip straight over into NetSuite. And here we have the main ABR menu. So we have a lot of setup. Today, as I say, we're going to be focusing on auto match and auto generation rules and how they are reflected within reconciliation. So if we go into reconcile, I'll pick my bank account. And here we have the main reconciliation window. I'm working back in March, and we can see here we have the details of the status from within NetSuite. So this is, and we can check that the balance that we have extracted from NetSuite matches with what's in NetSuite. What we've got in from the bank, we can adjust the filters the moment we're displaying unmatched transactions. You see they're side by side, so it's nice and easy to compare and have a look. I can, and we'll see later, I can adjust at those that are matched or all. And if, obviously this is a relatively small amount of data, but should you be dealing with a load of transactions or whatever, then you can apply price intensive filters both on the GL side and on the bank. Looking here, we've got some fairly obvious matches. So we can see the Harrods group here. The dates are all the same. It's matching on the name, and it's a bill payment for the same amount. We can see that 5 Live is a payment to us that matches directly. We can see that 4 Piece is a single payment. So if I scroll up and click auto match now, then that's just going to fire off a rule which essentially says if I've got a payment in or a payment out, the customer or vendor matches and the amount matches, then I just want you to automatically match it. I don't want to have to do anything else. So you can see here that it's looked at the 8 records on the bank statement. 3 of those have been matched. So now when we go back into the bank statement, but you can see here that it's matched £4,541, and when it completes refreshing, here we can see the other side has lost the others as well. Changing this to matched. You can see here now that these are the 3 transactions. They've gone through, they've been matched, they've got their own match IDs, and easy to follow. So if I go back to unmatched again, what we can also do is match manually. So for instance, here I've got two payment transactions on one for all. Over here from the bank, they both come through in one line, so I can match those. And click match. And again, where I have two transactions on the bank side, but only one transaction on the NetSuite side, I can do the same thing. So I can match one-to-many in both directions. So I can then do finally, here I've got a payment which I've recorded at £91.20. The bank has taken £1.20 interest off it. So if I click here and go create GL transaction, I can then type in my account to go against it. So I'll go into non-operating expense. I'll put in a debit for £1.20. I can put in a memo. And if I submit that transaction, that will then take me back to the reconciliation screen. It will have matched them up. It's created the transaction, brought it into ABR and matched it up. So that's sort of auto matching and manual matching, how you can create transactions manually, etc. We then get into the auto generation templates. So what I have here, if I come into the setup and I go into auto generate templates, and I can now go in here to the bank charges interest earned. So what I'm saying here is that, first of all, these auto generation rules are bank account specific, so this is the account that I'm dealing with. I'm using approvals here, so I want it automatically approved. But what I'm saying is if a transaction type charge comes in, the statement text matches exactly with the words bank charge, as in exactly, then I want to automatically create a journal entry. I want the nominal account to be interest expense, and I want the memo to be bank charges. So if we look at the file that I actually imported, you can see I've imported as charge, I've imported this as a reference of bank charge, and so if I now click auto generate, a process is created. and one record's been processed. So now, if I go back to the reconciliation screen, I've got no outstanding transactions. You can see here that 4,084.55 is matched. Again, I can see it up here. I can display those transactions if I want. And if I wanted to sign this off, then I could click the reconcile button. That will effectively draw a line under the marker for that statement and generate me an account, control account report. Moving on to another bank account. Here we have the Metro Bank. So what I've brought in from the Metro Bank is slightly different. So this is the file that I imported. What I'm actually doing here is I'm picking up the customer reference from the payment reference. I'm just picking up these this particular segment. I've achieved that because when I'm in my input format, I've said that the reference, I'm picking it up from field 6, but actually I only want the characters from 23 to 29. So it's possible to extract from a field in order to get exactly what you want to get a precise match. Going back into the reconciliation. Here we can see the the payments received. Actually, there isn't anything in NetSuite to match this because this is where we are really just receiving the information externally first. So what I want to do is to just create a payment record for these, which will go in against this account Amazon 2. To which I can then create whatever I want to match them against within my accounts. So looking at the auto generation template for this one, here again, well, I've not approved it this time, but here again, this time we're going to create a payment. The anomaly account is going to be accounts receivable, and my transaction memo is actually going to be made up dynamically. So I'm saying that the entity ID, which is going to relate to customers, is going to be picked up from the reference. I put a sample reference in here of, which is what we've got. The screen just gives me a chance to actually check that this is really as much for testing as anything else, but then I can see that it's actually found it, that's valid. And it's going to pick up the reference down here, payment from Amazon 2 received on the 12th of the 6th. So going back to the reconcile statement now, I click on auto generate. Again, process is fired off. Three records have been processed. Again, we can see there's nothing left to process. Everything's been matched, and if I go and have a look at the matched transactions, you can see how it's generated. Payment from Amazon recorded on the 15th of the 3rd, and matched over here on both sides. So that's one type of payment posting. If I have a look here now at another bank account, again, we can see that we've got 2 payments come in here for 9 ladies dancing. Now, in fact, if I just looking at the AR register, we can see that here we do have 2 invoices. We haven't actually recorded any payments against these 2 invoices, but unlike the Amazon payments that came in against which there was nothing to match, here we actually have payments, and so we're going to look to allocate those automatically. So if I go back to the auto generation templates and go to the auto alloc, again, it's a posting type of payment. Again, going to the accounts receivable, the transaction memo that I kind of want is to be is payment from ladies. But what I've ticked here is auto allocation, and what this is doing, as opposed to the Metro Bank example where I was actually dynamically picking up the account from the reference field, I'm actually set this up because 9 Ladies Dancing is an account that I do a lot of transactions with, and I basically just want it auto allocated for me. So I'm saying match by amount, but I can do it, oldest or newest or match on reference. And obviously we've already seen how I can do it dynamically. Let's say this time we're specific, this generation template is specific to this account. Of course, I can fill in department classification if I wish to include them in my transaction. If I go back here now and I click auto generate, again, the process is fired off. Back into the bank reconciliation. Again, everything's been matched, and again, we can have a look at the match. And we can see that there's the memo that I wanted, and they've automatically been matched. That doesn't have to be manual in the way that I've just shown you. Whether you're importing automatically using our Statement Direct tool to download directly from banks, or whether you are downloading manually and importing, you can string a lot of these jobs together. If I come in and have a look at the reconciliation wizard, you can see that actually I can record against multiple bank accounts, and I can then import, extract, auto match or auto generate for all the selected accounts working automatically. So it can be batched up. I've been showing you on an individual basis in order to explain. Thank you very much for watching this. I do apologize for the rather dodgy connection that I seem to have ended up with. If you want any further information, please you can visit Nolan Business Solutions, contact sales@nolanbusinesssolutions.com, or phone 01252 811 663. Thank you very much for attending. Goodbye.